So today I've got a lovely guest with me and we're just going to discuss a simple topic. So the topic we're discussing today is free will real or just an illusion? So my guests will start the discussion. What do you think? So is free will real or just an illusion?
I would say first of all you need to give it a definition. So we need to understand first of all what the word free is, commonly associated with the plural of that, which is freedom, which broadly defined is that which is an act or a will of the mind, which gives the individual the freedom to act according to their own will or their own action. But the difficulty with that is that unless it has some kind of validation by the state or by society at large, then most acts that are not deemed as valid, i.e. acceptable, are normally deemed to be unacceptable or invalid, which means that will, that free will, becomes restricted.
Yeah.
And therefore the action or act that ensues afterwards is therefore restricted. And we can look at COVID-19 as a good example, and we can look at the way in which our freedom has been restricted, albeit in the name of the interests of the public health.
Right.
But the freedom that we chase, that we desire, is the very thing that we are actually yielding away from and actually giving back to the state, which is a bit of an irony. So the question then would be, what price, I guess, are we prepared to pay for the loss of freedom? And we also need to consider whether or not what we're told is reliable information as well. Okay. So it's subject to what I would call a subjective view.
Right.
It's a state of mind, but it's largely the definition of that word is determined, broadly speaking, by the state.
Okay, because my understanding is that free will should be a choice, being able to choose, and illusion is you are forced to do something such as imitation, hallucination, something tells you in your mind what to do. What we do.
Yeah, and I suppose you could also say that, you know, with everything that we do in real life, is the product of our imagination anyway. So that something that's conceived in the mind, an idea. Yeah. Classic example would be the scientist in a laboratory looking for a cure for an illness. That would be, first of all, a process which starts in the brain. So they would conceive of the science of what it is that they want to achieve by thinking about what it is that they need to do first. So that would be what would require, should I say, a very great degree of imagination before they can actually start to apply a systematic approach scientifically towards discovering a cure or a vaccination. In other words, before they can actually test whatever chemical it is that they wish to test, be it on an animal, be it on in order to see whether or not that would actually work in reality.
Great. Someone said when people are told that free will is an illusion, they are more likely to cheat or less likely to work hard.
Well, again, I suppose it depends on what we think free will is. We have freedom in as much as I can go to work, even under the current restrictions that are imposed, currently in place by Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
Both of us are free to go to work because it's been sanctioned by the state in order to go to work. But if I was to decide to go to the park and play a game of football, that's been banned temporarily. So that would be classed as not a free will. Or should I put it another way, it might be a case of saying that my desire, my will to freely kick a ball in an empty football pitch would not be classed as something acceptable by the state. So therefore, that thought, that free thought, becomes invalid. It becomes null and void, because actually I can't realise or actualise what it is that I'm thinking about doing.
Right.
So I've gone from the thinking stage to the doing stage, which is what creates the difficulty, because I'm thinking that I want to be free to play football.
Right, right.
But because I will be stopped by a police officer and told to go home, it's no longer free, is it?
True. You're
If that makes
absolutely
sense.
right, yeah.
That's probably the simplest way of explaining that. So to summarise that, it would be to say that it can always will be a free thought. So we can have a free thought, but a thought in itself is just a cognitive and psychological process that we go through in terms of trying to actualise what it is that we want to be free to do.
Yeah.
It has to involve a doing of something. Otherwise it's not free.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So peeps, is ellsprettyg. Please join the conversation. Like, share, comment. Have a nice day. There's more coming. Bye-bye.